Welcome to the Clenching Chronicle Podcast. If you ask someone what kind of headache they get, you rarely hear a medical term. You hear a cause. It's stress. It's tension. It's work. It's my shoulders. People instinctively label pain according to what they think triggered it. If the week was intense, it must be a stress headache. If the neck feels tight, it must be a tension headache. But medically, those two things belong to the same biological family of headache. And today, we're going to unpack something important. Stress is usually the trigger. Tension is the mechanism. The headache is the result. And once you understand that pathway, something powerful will happen. The headache stops being random. It becomes understandable. And when something becomes understandable, it becomes manageable. Before we get into it, if you're interested in understanding the hidden connections between jaw clenching, stress, headaches, and nervous system tension, make sure you subscribe to the Clenching Chronicle Podcast. This channel is dedicated to helping people understand why their jaw tightens, why headaches happen, and how small daily habits can quietly shape how our bodies feel. Now let's talk about the real difference between stress headaches and tension headaches. Why do we name pain by the trigger? Basically, human beings are storytellers. When something hurts, the brain immediately tries to create a simple explanation. If your head hurts after a stressful day, you say, "That meeting gave me a stress headache." If your neck feels tight and your temples ache after sitting at a computer all day, you say, "This is a tension headache." Those labels feel logical. They provide psychological comfort. They give the illusion that we understand what's happening. But medically, the distinction between stress headaches and tension headaches isn't actually meaningful, because doctors group them together as something called tension-type headaches. And tension-type headaches are incredibly common. In fact, they're the most common neurological disorder in the world. Hundreds of millions of people experience them every year, but they rarely get dramatic attention. Why? Because they usually don't knock you out completely. They don't send you to the hospital. Instead, they do something much subtler. They allow you to keep functioning, just not at your best. And that subtle erosion of performance is where the real story begins. So let's start with the biology behind stress and head pain. Let's talk about what actually happens inside the body. When stress rises, your nervous system activates. Specifically, your sympathetic nervous system, the system responsible for alertness, focus, and survival. This system is incredibly useful to you. It helps you meet deadlines, respond to problems, concentrate intensely, perform under pressure. But when the sympathetic nervous system activates, something else happens. Your baseline muscle tension increases. Your body subtly prepares for action. Your shoulders tighten. Your neck stabilizes. And one of the most powerful muscle groups in the body, your jaw muscles, begin to contract. Now, most people never notice this, but the jaw is deeply connected to the brain through a powerful sensory nerve. It's called the trigeminal nerve. This nerve carries enormous amounts of sensory information between your face and your brain. When jaw muscles like the masseter and temporalis remain contracted for long periods, several things begin to happen. Blood flow to those muscles decreases. Metabolic waste builds up in the tissue. Pain receptors activate. And that's when people begin to feel what they describe as temple pressure, a tight band around their head, heaviness behind their eyes, scalp tightness, neck stiffness. The headache appears. But the headache is not the first event in the chain. It's the final signal. So here's how jaw clenching amplifies headaches. One of the biggest amplifiers of tension headaches is something many people don't realize they're doing. jaw clenching. This is called awake bruxism. Now, bruxism simply means clenching or grinding or thrusting or guarding your teeth, and it often happens during moments of concentration. Think about situations like answering email, driving in traffic, studying, playing competitive sports, writing code, negotiating contracts. During these intense focus, people often stabilize their jaw. Their teeth touch, the masseter muscles tighten, and they stay tight for long periods. But here's the important detail. Your teeth were never designed to stay touching all day. The healthy resting position of the jaw is simple. Lips together, teeth apart. And with your tongue just behind your front teeth. Now, if you want to see what that feels like, just say the word with, but say it softly, with. And you can feel your tongue just going exactly to that spot. So when teeth remain in contact, even lightly, the jaw muscles are forced to remain active. Now, over time, this can produce fatigue in the temporalis muscles, which sit along the temples. And those muscles refer pain directly to the scalp and the sides of the head. This is one of the reasons so many people describe tension headaches as feeling like a tight band around their head. The muscles involved are literally wrapping around the skull. Now, when occasional headaches become chronic, this can be a big problem. An occasional headache is not unusual, but something changes when the headaches become frequent. Doctors define chronic tension-type headache in the following way. 15 or more headache days per month for at least 3 months. When headaches reach that level, the nervous system begins to change. Pain pathways strengthen. The brain becomes more efficient at producing discomfort. This process is called central sensitization. It's essentially the nervous system becomes better at detecting pain signals. Thresholds drop. Stimuli that were once harmless begin to feel uncomfortable. At the same time, sleep quality often declines. Muscle tension becomes more constant. And people begin anticipating pain. They wake up wondering, is today going to be a headache day? That anticipation increases vigilance. Vigilance increases muscle tone. And muscle tone increases headache frequency. This is how simple stress response can gradually become a chronic pattern. So, what's the hidden productivity cost? One of the most fascinating aspects of tension headaches is how quietly they affect performance. Unlike migraines, which often force people to stop working completely, tension headaches allow people to keep functioning, but not optimally. Researchers describe this phenomenon as presenteeism, being physically present but cognitively impaired. People experiencing tension headaches often notice subtle changes in performance. A slower thinking, for example, difficulty concentrating, shorter attention span, irritability, and mental fatigue. A professional might sit through a meeting but struggle to process the information. A student might reread the same paragraph repeatedly. A parent juggling work and family might feel overwhelmed by small tasks. Because the headache is moderate rather than severe, people often blame themselves. They assume they're tired or distracted or losing focus. But the brain in pain reallocates resources. Part of the brain becomes focused on processing discomfort, which leaves fewer resources available for complex thinking. So what's the relationship impact of chronic pain? Headaches don't just affect work, they affect relationships. Pain narrows tolerance for stimulation. Noise feels louder. Conversation requires more effort. Multitasking becomes exhausting. People often begin withdrawing slightly. They may cancel plans. They may speak less. They may feel irritable without understanding why. Their partners sometimes interpret this as disengagement. Children may experience shortened patience, and the person experiencing the headache often feels guilt. They want to be present. They want to participate fully. But sustained discomfort reduces emotional bandwidth, and the result is rarely dramatic conflict. Instead, it creates subtle distance. Over time, these small shifts accumulate, breaking the cycle. How are we going to do that? Well, the good news is that tension headaches respond well to multidimensional strategies. So how do we break the cycle? The good news is that tension headaches respond well to multidimensional strategies. Several approaches help interrupt the cycle. Stress regulation, for example. Simple breathing techniques can calm the nervous system. Slow diaphragmatic breathing lowers the sympathetic activation and reduces baseline muscle tone. Jaw awareness. Most people are completely unaware when their teeth touch. So a simple cue can help. Saying to yourself, lips together, teeth apart. Checking this periodically throughout the day interrupts clenching patterns. Posture. Forward head posture increases strain on your neck muscles. Movement breaks and ergonomic adjustments can reduce mechanical stress. Sleep quality is a big one. Poor sleep increases pain sensitivity. Improving sleep consistency often reduces headache frequency. Now, biofeedback helps people become aware of muscle activity they normally can't detect. For example, the Clench Alert biofeedback training device provides gentle vibration when the clenching occurs. That vibration acts as a reminder to relax the jaw. Over time, the brain begins recognizing the pattern earlier and relaxing automatically. This process retrains the habit. So it's not just stress. Stress headaches and tension headaches are not different problems. They're different ways of describing exactly the same pathway. Stress triggers the nervous system. The nervous system increases muscle tension. Muscle tension produces head pain. The name we give the headache matters less than the impact it has on your daily life. And tension-type headaches can have a surprisingly large impact. They reduce focus. They drain emotional energy. They affect your sleep. They influence relationships. And because they allow people to keep functioning, they often go ignored. But pain is information. Your body is communicating. And when that signal becomes frequent, it deserves attention. Understanding the mechanism is the first step towards changing it, because the goal isn't eliminating stress. Stress is part of life. The goal is restoring nervous system flexibility. Because when flexibility returns, clarity returns, energy returns, patience returns, and life begins to feel lighter again. So, if today's episode helped you understand your headaches in a new way, subscribe to the Clenching Chronicle. And the next time you notice tension building in your head, try something simple. Pause. Take one slow breath. Let your teeth separate. You might be surprised how much tension disappears when your jaw relaxes.